welcome. You're joining us for 2SRL Round 9 at the Hungarian. This is going to be a critical race in front of us. We've got I think it's seven drivers maybe in this session, but the important thing we're going to focus on for this race will be the fact that Incognita is going to try and win the championship with one race to spare. Joining me on the stream, we've got the delicious, nutritious fellow Irishman, TipsyBob.
Karting champion.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm alright, man. I'm looking forward to this one. As you said, it's set up nicely for Terra. He's had 5 race wins, and the only person really breathing down him is Thimo. Pretty much, if Terra wins today, it's game over. That's the title wrapped up. And I think in terms of the standings, if he finishes 4th or less, and Thimo wins, then it rolls on to the next week. But I mean, it's only a matter of time, I think, man, really, before Terra clinches this one. Although it's really great to see that we've got, quite a few more drivers racing today, because for a moment there I thought we were only going to have four drivers, but we've got Bance back. It's good to see Bance. If Bance was here from the beginning, he probably would have been a contender as well. He's pretty quick. With Hugo as well, remember he was AFK or away for a while on his holidays. He came back and did pretty good. So he's been back for a while. He's had a chance to grind it. If he has or not, I don't know, but he's had a chance to practice. But we've also got Icewind. On it, Icewind's not as familiar on the AC as he is in Formula 1, but if he can do anything like he does in Formula 1, I think this should be a pretty good battle. We've got a lot of fast drivers. I think we're in for a pretty decent race, man.
Yep, should be a good one. So the form at the minute seems to be with Thimo and Terror, but we have seen Hugo in past races coming on a bit stronger as the season has progressed. Also, Clara is pretty handy. Seen him improving, making big gains. Dead Pixel, I believe he finished P3 last time, P4 maybe.
That's right.
So great finish from him, and of course, as you mentioned there, that Bance who he just arrives and drives the socks off the car, and is just able to. I don't know how he does it. He just shows up, puts in stellar performances most times, and he just, like, whenever you talk to him about it, he talks as if it's no big deal, But so it's going to be an interesting race. I mean, the last time there was, I think we had only 7 or 8 drivers maybe the last time, but we actually had an epic race. It went right down to the wire. There's a lot of different strategies played into the story of the race as it unfolded. We had some drama, we had some incidents. So hopefully more of the same today. I think that they were saying earlier that the lap, it's going to be around about 35 laps today, I think.
Well, the Bance just gets it all wrong on the exit and spins. But yeah, going back to what you were saying there, the previous race, if anyone wants to see the highlight of the season so far in the SC League, it definitely was the last race we had in Canada, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was Canada, where Tara and Timo were fighting pretty much the whole way. I think there was Hugo was in the mix as well. And then Tara, what really decided that race, one of the reasons why we are rolling over to this race for Tara to clinch the title, is because Tara was set up nicely, P1 leading the race, and that's all he had to do. And it was only a matter of time before he had the titles wrapped up. But he came into the pits, and I think in entering the pits he spun, which is a bit of a freakish thing to do, especially from Terry, very consistent. The time he lost just in the pits, that's literally pretty much what cost him the race win. But it did go right down to the wire, because he was reeling in Thimo, and Thimo was holding his nerve and held on to make the race win. So that's why we're in the position today in the Hungarian, where Terra still has his opportunity to clinch the title. But like I said, there's a couple of different things in the mix today, because Hugo isn't just back from his holidays whenever he raced last time out. He's been back a long time, so he's had time to get up to speed again. And Hugo is someone you do not rule out because he is very quick in this. He's quick in Formula One as well. He's very quick in SE. Um, we've got Bance, as you were saying. Bance is very quick at this as well. He's going to push them big time. I don't know how much practice he's got. He's working a lot at the moment, so he's a bit of he compromised in terms of how much practice he gets. And then you got Icewind, and Icewind, if he puts it together, he can do well. I've got a Kitsune looking at me here, so I think she must want to tell me something about the stream.
Yeah, while you're getting that information fed into your ear, I have got the standings, so the driver championship standings on screen, so you can see there, Terror's got a mighty lead. He's 176 in front with just these two races, this race and the final race of the season to come. 35-point gap to Thimo, so a nice cushion there for him, but it isn't over until the fat lady flies the flag. I think that's how that saying goes. But we've got Hugo, yeah, as saying, he's come on strong. He's missed a few races as well, so that he's in third, which is great. Dead Pixel is looking handy in fourth, but that Bance, he hasn't actually raced for quite a while in Assetto Corsa. He's only had 3 races this season, but he's had a fourth, a second, and a first, and then he won on a hiatus. So yeah, we've got a race on our hands right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is there may only be 7 drivers or 6 drivers, 6 drivers, but we as we saw last time, that does not mean that there's going to be any less of a race on our hands. Hungary is a pretty is a favorite track of the drivers, but I think on the F1 side of things, it can be a bit processionary. The start finish straight is obviously where the main DRS is, but with Assetto Corsa, I believe you can use DRS at any time, so that is something to take into account.
Sorry about that, Chief.
That's alright, yeah.
Katie came in and tell me that my microphone was rubbish, like the last time. So I was trying to fix it, but in doing so, I clicked the restart button on my computer. So.
As you do. Didn't even notice you were gone. Yeah, so it's just giving a rundown there. I had the driver championship standings on screen, and we've seen there that there's 35 gap from Terra to Thimo, and they've got just these 2 races remaining, so it isn't quite over yet. We'll see what Thimo can do today. But as I was saying, that Bance is missed about 4 or 5 races, 4 or 5 of the past races, but he's done really well in the initial race. He's attended 3 races. He came 4th, 2nd, and 1st. So it's a shame that he wasn't able to attend all those missed races. I'm sure he would be up there as well with Terra and Thimo fighting out for the title. But let's have a look on track. So we haven't really talked about qualifying, but there's 3 minutes 20 seconds roughly left of qualifying. We've got Thimo in first. That Bance is second, about a second off as well. You got Terror right behind that Bance, and then Clara is fourth. Strangely, I'm not seeing any times coming up for Dead Pixel or Icewind or Hugo, so I don't know if that means that they're having issues out there on track. So Terror's put himself into second actually with that lap he's just completed. Actually not too bad, a bit of a handy one there. He's 0.263 off Thimo's best time, so I think this is going to be another case of Thimo and Terror at the front, duking it out for the win here.
Oh, in saying that though, Thimo's just lost it, hit the wall.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Also, if Katie can tell me how does my voice sound on the stream? Have I got my succulents back?
It sounds creamy.
No, hang on a minute. Okay, I unplugged and replugged my microphone. What's it like now, Kitsune?
It sounds okay here on my end.
Yeah, can you tell me though it sounds terrible on the stream? Still shaking her head. What's the matter? She says I sound weird. That's just probably my voice. She says like there's like an echo.
I'll see what I can do on my end. Turn that down a bit. See if that's any better. Maybe. Speedy saying it just sounds horrible, to be honest. I'm not sure how we can fix that. But anyway, yeah, getting back to the session, 1 minute left. We have Terror putting in another fast lap there, but still 2.63 off Thimo's 116.846, which looks like the benchmark right now. That Bance hasn't been able to set a better time just yet. There's only 40 seconds now remaining, so. And we've yet to see laps from Hugo, Icewind, or Dead Pixel, which doesn't bode well for the race for those guys. See Jeremy in chat there. Why aren't you taking part, Jeremy? I would like to know that.
I'm afraid to talk because it hurts people's ears.
I'm not sure what the issue is. We'll maybe have to test this afterwards to try and resolve the issue. Let me see if I can do a wee bit of rejigging on my end.
You can't hardly hear me now. It's very echoey.
Try talking now, man. See if that helps any.
Testing 1 2 testing. If anyone can tell me what that's like, I don't understand it because I mean it's a brand new microphone. It's pretty expensive as well. Desktop microphone. Oh, Kitty says shouting. I can hear shouting. Yes. Hang on, I'm just going to get maybe the most unprofessional bit of streaming ever, but I'm going to keep this recorded and ask Kitty on the stream. Kitty, can you give me a big yes whether the microphone sounds all right or not? Oh, there's the big yes. So whatever you done, man, it must be it.
Okay, we'll try and keep it there. Hopefully that will solve the issue for now. We'll have a look at that afterwards though and try and work out what the hell's going on, because I actually think it's on my end. I think it's either Streamlabs or it's my microphone, because I think there's some bleeding coming through somewhere. But here we go. I think we're getting set up for the race now. It is 35 laps. And
just to finish, Kitty did say it's a little bit muffled, but it's better.
Okay, we'll just have to work with this for now.
I'll work with it now, yeah.
So the drivers are on the grid. We have to do the big escape to the pits.
Kitty says Matt's too low.
Yeah, the problem is if I put myself higher, I think you're going to get that echo again.
Okay. Well, the lights are on at the moment, and as soon as these lights go out, I'm going to have to switch. Me and Chief are going to have to switch to the pit.
So apologies for this, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a wee bit of an issue with Assetto Corsa. We can't see the initial... Oh, yellow flag. Oh, I wonder what's going on up there. Right, we've got this screen.
There was a big collision between Tara and Thimo and Hugo's and Bance. And
Bance sounded fourth, yeah.
Oh, Bance has almost lost it.
Oh, he got it all wrong there. And in the background,
Dead Pixel's also lost it.
Yeah, Dead Pixel. That was a bit of a harsh one there. That's gonna leave a few marks.
So Tara's running wide on Thimo, and he runs way off track. Hugo gets the position. Bance might get the position. Oh, this is disaster for Terror. Terror's down to P5, which means that if Thimo wins, it's lap 1, but if Thimo wins, it rolls on to next time. So this is a good bit of action already, and already has changed up the potential championship. Hugo or Thimo is doing everything he can to take this victory and take this title off Terror.
Yeah, and he has Hugo, his teammate, behind him to kind of give him a bit of a buffer to that Vance, but that Vance is looking very pacey. He looks like he's ready for this race, and he's ready to take it to Thimo and Hugo, so it looks like an interesting one so far. I think we've got a yellow flag again, I think. But yet, the top 3 are running pretty close together here. Clara's dropped off a little bit in P4 with Terror. Due to that first lap incident is down in P5. Icewind and Dead Pixel making up the last positions there. They've dropped way off the pace for now. But that Vance is all over the gearbox of Hugo. He really wants to get this P2.
Yeah, Hugo ran wide coming over the top of that blind left-hander, and he's just, like you said, right on the back of Hugo. My goodness, he actually had to back out of that one because he was almost going to run into the back of him. But I mean, as I was saying, Hugo's looking. He went for a little kind of a look at Thimo. So Thimo's been pretty used to this now recently of being under pressure. And I mean, I did say that having Hugo and Vance here is going to really mix things up because they are just as quick as Thimo and Terror. But Thimo is setting fastest lap after fastest lap, and he's stretching a little bit of a lead on these two as he locks up turn 1, runs a little bit wide.
Yeah, and Terror has actually set the fastest lap of the bunch there, 1:19.26. So he's in P4 and closing in on the top 3 here. Vance wants to get this moved on quickly, but I was saying there, I think you were offline when I was mentioning just the fact that Hungary is known. Oh, Hugo going wide again there. Vance will see that and he'll spur him on. But yeah, I was just saying that parts of this track are not very overtake friendly. So we, like for example, this section here is very processionary. Once you get the car things up, Vance loses it. I think he just clipped the curb there, and it was that was nasty. That was a bad accident, and he drops down the order.
Same corner he had trouble with in practice.
And Clara just had to take evasive action there, almost suffered the same fate. So that Vance, he will have damage. Then will he have to pit now, or will he be able to continue with the damage?
Clara also runs wide, so Vance gets that position back. Yeah, I think there is. Well, I don't know how it works in how they have it set up, but well, he's staying out, so maybe the damage is off. But yeah, you do get damage in the game. Again, it just depends on what settings they've got. But if he does have damage, he will be on the screen. But I was going to say, Chief, that this actually, funny enough, the Terror dropping down to P5 actually worked out pretty nicely for him because it gives him a bit of clear air to get himself settled, get himself into the groove, whereas Hugo is just bullying Thimo. And so if Hugo been bullying into a mistake, Terror has got the legs on Hugo. Terror could still win this. But what you were saying there about the processionary period, I agreed. The main straight, turn 1, turn 2, all the way up to the blind left is where you can get your move done. After that, you pretty much have to follow everyone until you get to the third last corner where Vance is coming up to now. After that, there's not really many opportunities. But Hugo is keeping Thimo honest here. Oh, and Hugo gets the fastest lap, so they're switching between Thimo, Hugo, and Terror on these fastest laps. And Hugo is really closing this gap down. It's a bit similar to what we seen last time out in Canada, whereby Thimo was running a lot of downforce last time out, and you could see where Terror was closing in on him.
Yeah.
And you can see Hugo is catching him already. He's down to half a second.
Yeah, and another thing is tire strategy. I haven't really looked at that yet, but it looks like everybody's on C3s apart from Clara.
Yeah, cars in the C2s.
So that's a harder tire compound, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll last longer.
I haven't really seen the C2 like in a race before. It's either been C3 or C4 usually, but
Usually C3, C4, C5s usually just pretty much die too quickly. C5s are, if you can compare them to a couple of seasons ago in Formula One, they would be like the hypersofts, and they don't really last very long. C4s would be something like Ultra. Oh, and Carlos loses it. I don't know what it is. Anytime I spectate someone, they lose it. Clara lost it there.
good old commentator's curse. Thimo a fast lap there, 1:18.5. Oh, Terror puts in a faster lap, a 1:18.4. So it is on. Terror, we've seen this before. You know, if he does get involved, it's not very rare you see him in an instant, but in Assetto Corsa, we've seen a few out of him, and it's been bad for Terror, but it's been great for us because it means then we get to see, you know, if he can really dial it into the car and make up the time again and take the race win. So he's still in this race. He's 5.3 behind Hugo and Thimo, but we'll keep an eye on that gap and see if we can close it in anymore. Clara is in pits at the minute, so effectively out of the race.
Clara fits the C3s. So a bit early for them. I reckon Clara will probably have to pit again. Another thing as well, anyone is watching and they're not familiar with this, you have to do. Oh, Ban's I think Ban's crashed. Yeah, Ban seemed to lose it to that same corner. So just a bit of out of practice mode for anything really then for Ban's, because he did have the pace, like definitely has it.
Yeah, he was looking punchy there, but maybe a bit too punchy.
The light spins off as well.
It actually reminds me. Have you seen there's a video of Tyson Fury boxing, and he throws an uppercut and he punches himself in the face.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's a good one. I think he smiles whenever he does it as well because he realizes he just punched himself in the face. What a legend. Oh, Hugo is closing in on Thimo, so
Yeah, Hugo's setting him. He's been building this up for a couple of laps now.
But with these guys being in the same team, does it? You know, I mean, is there going to be team orders coming into play? Because obviously Thimo needs to take this win if he's any chance of winning the title, the driver championship title, or holding up her from what looks like an inevitable drivers championship.
I don't know. I mean, Hugo has to get a wee bit of a correction there, but knowing how Hugo races, I've raced him a lot. I mean, if there's an opportunity for Hugo to pass Thimo, he'll go for it. You know, I don't think there's any team orders here. It'll be all fair game up for P1. Hugo will be wanting to get this race win, and really, I don't think he will be worried too much about Thimo's potential to get the title. I don't think he's going to care too much about that. It'll be all about his own performance. But you're seeing here that although Hugo he is closing the gap and then he loses it again, whereas you're able to see Thimo is just consistently just nice and smooth, lap after lap, being really consistent. And I think if any game really rewards you with consistency, it's definitely Assetto Corsa. If you could just be nailing every lap within a couple of tenths there all the time, as we seen last time out with Thimo and Tara, that's what you want. You don't want like one really fast lap and then like 6 rubbish ones.
Yeah, and ominous sign there. I just saw Terror in the background as I was watching Hugo and Thimo, so he's got the gap from 5 seconds down to 3 seconds, so he is closing in big time here. And I think Thimo's going to be glad that Hugo is behind him right now because he will provide a bit of a buffer, but there we go again. Terror is closing in big time. 3 seconds is the gap roughly, so we're lap 9 out of 35. We've still got the pit stops to go. Dead Pixel is he's in P4 at the minute, so he's fallen off the pace a wee bit, but not doing too bad. I mean, he should be able to pick up that P4 position, but you never know with these top three. Might get into a bit of an incident, and he could pick up a podium finish. So he just needs to, like as you say. Oh, and he's actually pitted. So Dead Pixel's coming into the pits on lap 9. I wonder if that is due to damage. He puts on the. Let's see, what tire has he selected?
Probably C3s again.
Yeah, that's right. You can go with two.
Oh, C4.
Okay. So maybe C4. Oh, well, C4 is softer tire, so is that going to get him to the end?
C4 is quacker. What the hell? C4 is quicker? Quacker? I don't know what I was trying to say there.
Very good. Very good. I'll make the blooper reel, that one.
So Hugo's able to, close in on Thimo, but just can't get that move done. Back of off these cars says BMW bank. I didn't know BMW had a bank.
Yeah, didn't know that myself, man. I find that most of the advertising that's on these cars, I have never heard of most of them, right? Like the Williams car, what is that, Rocket toothpaste or something?
Yeah, Rocket. I mean, who's that? It's a bit ironic too that on the slowest car in Formula 1, it's got an advertisement saying Rocket on it.
That's true, I never thought about it like that. Super is 2.2 off Thimo and Hugo at the minute. Well, actually, he's only really 1.2 off Hugo, 2.2 off Thimo. Icewind is in the pits and has been for quite a while, so I think he might be out of the game.
I'm just looking at that myself. I think he's gonna throw in the towel. I mean, it's not an easy game, as I've often said. It's not an easy game to just turn on and get stuck in, especially whenever you're up against these boys like Thimo, Hugo, and Ter. So I think he may just be calling it quits.
Yeah. And another thing worth pointing out is, because in Assetto Corsa you can use the DRS at any point, so you no longer have that opportunity on the straight, on the start-finish straight, to activate the DRS, whereas the guy ahead won't have, usually won't have that. So it's not as big as an overtaking opportunity in this series. So it's going to be interesting to see whenever Tarek closes up in the back of these guys, if he can close up in the back of them. He's got dirty air to contend with, and he's also got to try and pass both of these guys. So it's a big ask, but we do also have the pit stops coming into play, so that might be key to this race.
Yeah, Tarek's just closing up in the back of Hugo's now. For the DRS, it's a bit strange because Assetto Corsa, it's heavily a modifiable game, so the community does do an awful lot providing us with these tracks, because I don't think the game comes with them, and so there are some tracks that you would race on, and the DRS is actually working as it should. You can only enable it on certain tracks, which we've had already in a few of the races, but there are just some races whereby, for whatever reason, you can activate it whenever. And Hungarian is one of those. And I've been running on board with Tara here, watching his outside outboard camera, and he's any opportunity. Oh! What was that? Look like Tara was like going to hell. Literally. Yeah, it was the same for me. But listen, I was going to say that because they're catching these lap cars of Clara. Clara gets well out of the way. Well done, Clara. Yeah, Terry is using any opportunity he gets, any little bit of straight at all. Terry has that back wing flicked straight open, and I'm not so sure that the other boys are doing it. Although they are, half the moment they've got their rear wing open. So Ter is slowly catching them now. I mean, he was caught them big time, but I don't know whether he's backing off and just hanging back to see what happens here, or what. But if Thimo thought this pressure from Hugo was intense, it's going to get worse, because now he's going to look. Whenever he looks behind him, he's going to see 2 cars right on his back. Thimo did suffer in the past, in the early days, with the pressure. He would kind of just crack under it, but Assetto Corsa is very good. He's a very accomplished racer in Assetto Corsa, and he's led a few races like this, actually, these intense battles where there's a guy right on his back and he's held his nerve, and it's usually the people behind him is the ones that seem to crack by pushing too hard. So I would say Thimo is reasonably comfortable, although I'm sure he's probably shouting a few "what the F's" as he likes to scream. Ooh, Thimo ran a little bit wide there. Hugo was able to close that gap. This blind left is where Hugo gets a ton of time. Well, not this time, but he really seems to be able to take that corner a lot more aggressively. But then it runs him wide, where then he loses it. Hugo's really, you can see Hugo's pushing here because he's braking really late and running a little wide. Sometimes he runs a little wide on this corner. Not too, that was actually right and tidy. A few of these corners he's running wide. Ooh, a bit wide on the Thimo here, and he's going really close. He's having a little look, and he backs out of it. He is really thinking about this. Oh, Thimo rocks up and runs deep. Hugo runs deep as well. And look how close Chief Ter is. This is the closest battle. It's Ter on Hugo. He was on his back there. Although Hugo got a good nice launch off the line. Something's going to give here.
Ter's putting a lot of pressure on Hugo right now. This is for P2, but potentially for the race win, actually. Yeah, I think Ter's he's just testing Hugo, isn't he? He's just putting a bit of pressure on him, seeing how he reacts, and just kind of reading what lines he's taking and how he reacts in certain situations. But he may well be happy enough just to sit behind these guys until the pit stops and see how that plays out. He has had some issues in the pits himself before. Remember, I think it was the last one when he in Canada. He went into the pits and he had a spin in the actual pit lane and lost a bunch of time.
Yeah, he spun on the entrance of the pit lane, and he pretty much lost the race because of that. And then the race before that one, he stopped at the wrong place and he had to back up. He lost a lot of time there. So those 2 mistakes that he had in the pits kind of is the reason why he's racing today, trying to get the win for the title, because if he wasn't for those 2 wee errors in the pits, it would have been game over already. He would have been the champion.
Yep, and Danico asked him what happened to Dead Pixel. We didn't actually see what happened to him, but we believe he had an op and then he had to pit early. So he may well have to pit again, so he's out of contention for now, but the focus is on these top 3 guys. They're going hammer and tongs here. A lot of respect for this kind of driving. I mean, it's not easy to just be nailing lap after lap. Basically, you're basically running hot laps. And it's unrelenting. Terry is so close behind Hugo right now. But this is sector 2. You get the 4 and the S's. He's going a little bit wide. Doesn't cost you too much. I mean, that's something from Ash. Tipsy is like, if you run wide and you know, in like F1, you would usually pick up a warning or a time penalty. But how does does that take effect in Assetto Corsa?
So it's more if you cut the corner or if something like that. I'm not sure about running wide, but I know if you cut the corner, the game gives you two options: either slow down to about 20, something like 21 mile an hour,
Sorry,
or
Tipsy. Terror is just coming into the pits. Oh, and he's had an issue in the pits again. He's went to the wrong box. Yeah, he went too far forward. He had to reverse. He's lost at least 5 seconds there. So that
yeah,
is
that's what happened
terrible.
last time.
Oh god.
So Pitt seems to be the potential champion's Achilles heel at the moment. It's 3 races in a row where he gets compromised in the pits. He will be kicking himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's going to put him well back, and he's got it all to do again. So if he wants to win, this is going to have to be like an epic drive from Terror. We'll see once Timo and Hugo come in, and maybe Timo and Hugo will actually come in this lap just to cover off Terror. They won't. I don't think they'll know at this point. Maybe they're in voice comms together, but I don't think they'll know at this point what happened to Terror.
And they usually do race and voice comm together, so I would say they're pretty aware of what's going on. So don't be surprised if you see one of these guys pit, or if both of them. Yep, Timo's in. Hugo's going to try and get the overcut.
Timo is in, Hugo staying out, so might see a different strategy playing out for the BMW boys. Because I mean, Hugo could well stay out, and then he could potentially get a fresher set of tires later in the race and do some damage there. So Timo is currently coming out of the pits. Let's see if we can see Terra in the background. Terra come around the final corner. Looked like he just flung the car around that corner, and that was Clara actually coming around the corner. So Terra is even further back. So
Yeah, Terra's lost out big time on that pit mistake. So
yeah, it's 6 seconds is the gap currently. So we'll keep an eye on that. Another thing we need to keep an eye on is when will Hugo pit? Will he pit now and play it safe, or will he push on for a few more laps and give himself the benefit of fresher tires later in the race? Dead Pixel getting it really wide there on that in the background. Nothing doing there, so on board with Hugo at the minute, and he is indeed coming into the pits. So unless he has any issues in the pits, he will most likely come out in second position, I would say.
but even if Terra finishes P3 and Timo wins, I don't think that's enough. I think Terra may just clinch the title, because he needs to finish 4th or less. But this is going to be pretty tight here because Hugo is just coming out of the pits.
I think Hugo's got it.
Hugo actually does it. He gets out of the pits in front of Timo, but Timo's going to go on the outside.
Oh, it's close.
Hugo has it covered off. Wow. So that must have been quite an impressive outlap or in-lap from Hugo to get on worn tires to get. Oh, but he runs really wide on those cold tires. Tire temperatures do have a big effect in this game, so Timo has the advantage of having, optimal tires at the moment, but it doesn't take long for them to heat up. So if Hugo can hang on for these couple of twisty corners, then it's game on. This is disaster for Timo, and even more so for Tire, because Timo needs the win.
Yep, he does indeed. So that's great. I mean, Hugo obviously was able to put in a stellar lap on on his in lap for his pit. Probably to do with like he had open air. He wasn't hindered by any dirty air from Timo. And now Timo is in that zone now where he's right behind Hugo and will be suffering the effects of dirty air from Hugo, which will push them both back into the clutches of Terror, who we see again in the background, and he's just set a fastest lap 1:18.18. So Timo and Hugo will both see that pop up on their screen, and they'll be feeling the heat in that cockpit right now. And we're lap 20 of 35, so just over the halfway.
It's nice to see we have 7 people watching. Well, 6 really, because that's one of them's me. So we're still getting a little bit of interest in this. Everyone should, hopefully they can enjoy the Formula One racing on Assetto Corsa, because it's not going to last. This will be the one and only Formula One kind of hybrid racing that we're going to do in Assetto Corsa, because as you can see, the turnout is not that great for these cars. They are quite difficult. But I think that we're planning something different. We're actually going to try and switch to the GTE. So there is a vote still ongoing, but it's looking like we'll be switching to the GTE cars, and that will command quite a lot more interest. I think I will be racing myself. So if anyone is interested, make sure you register your interest on the 2SRL Discord, because we will be switching to a different racing format.
Interesting stuff, yeah. It's exciting times ahead. And also, I'll say it on stream as well. Potentially, I am interested in this seat. Potentially, I'll try out GT. I have never did a lap in Assetto Corsa, so maybe it isn't to my taste. But from what I see and what I hear, it sounds like it's worth a shot, you know. And you never know. Maybe the old man will be up here fighting with Terror and Thimo someday. Probably not. Probably fighting to not be lapped. But you
I
never
think
know.
I think you would enjoy it, man, because of your iRacing experience. No doubt, Assetto Corsa is a really great racing game. I mean, it's one of the. I mean, you just have to check the, the overall reviews, and if you type in things like the best racing sims on PC, I mean, Assetto Corsa comes out on that list, as well as Project Cars 2. A lot of people actually don't kind of mixed feelings in Project Cars 2. Bance doesn't like it. It's a bit arcadey a wee bit, but I like Project Cars 2, but definitely Assetto Corsa is a much more enjoyable experience. And I was racing the BMW Z4 GTEs a couple of days ago, and of course I am kind of learning the game myself. But it was just so much fun. I mean, yeah, it's a hell of a lot slower, and it's a bit slow for me. I like the speed of these cars, the Formula One cars, but just the racing you can have, and it's so unforgiving, Assetto Corsa. If you lapse on any kind of concentration, the car will snap and kill you. And even the GT3 cars, you have to get your braking points bang on, and it does command, a kind of like a better control of the car, and it will improve your racing, I think. I think you definitely should give it a go. Jump into some of those GTE cars. Don't be driving the Formula 1 cars, because like I said, we won't be continuing that on. Well, it doesn't look like it anyway. We'll be moving on to something like the GTEs. But something I would recommend you should try is, if you click on to the Nordschleife map, and in an LMP1, I think it's the LMP1s, and just think it, that is one of the best experiences I've done in a racing game to date. I don't even know the track, but you can just, the speed you can get in that car is incredible. Definitely give it a go, man. And that goes for everyone else as well, who has Assetto Corsa or maybe doesn't play it that much, or is thinking about getting it. Just get it, get all the downloadable content, and just grind it, because it is a fantastic game. The only problem that puts some people off is, one, the difficulty. Some cars are quite difficult, but also some of the cars that you race are quite setup heavy, and the game is pretty much, if you nail your setup, you'll be like brilliant on it. So that's what kind of puts some people off. But GTE is not too complicated. A bit of research on it, and you can figure it out. So definitely give it a go. Jump on the GTE cars, have a go, and I reckon you'll like it.
Yeah, like you say, I did get into iRacing. It's very good. I mean, I enjoy the fact you get a lot more feedback from the car and stuff. Oh, but we're missing the battle here. Thimo is going for a move on Evo.
Sorry, Chief, go ahead.
It's side by side going through the final. Oh, and Terror is squeezed up the inside of, looks like Thimo, yes. Oh, and Thimo almost lost the car there, but Terror is up into second momentarily. Side by side with Thimo going for the final corner. Who's going to get the better run out? All three have DRS open. Hugo is looking good up ahead, but oh, Terra is in the P2, and Thimo is looking around the outside. Can he make it stick? The outside line is obviously a bit longer, and Terra looks like he's got it, but we're side by side going into turn 2 now. Terra has got the outside line, but he will have the inside line for the next corner, and Thimo just takes the position and holds off Terra. What a important move that was from Thimo to keep P2.
I can tell you guys as well from my experience in racing this that was some top quality driving from these boys, because as we have seen in previous races, these cars are very, very sensitive to any kind of contact, and Thimo did get a bit of contact in the last corner and he's almost lost it, so they were able to run pretty hairy stuff there without losing it. So that was some great car control from all three of them.
Absolutely, I think there were several points where each driver could have lost the car there. So a bit of a death wiggle starting to happen on each of the cars, for various points of those those maneuvers. So that was great to see. But there's no change in the order then after that hard battling. But Hugo, Thimo, and Terra are P1, P2, P3 respectively. And Terra goes around the. I think he's going to go around the outside there. Thimo just covering off turn 1 nicely. It's a better run out, so has the lead going into turn 2. I think it might be only a matter of time though before Terra takes this position, because he is looking very punchy right now. So, as suspected, really the only time we're seeing the overtaking opportunities appear is basically around the start finish straight, turn 1, turn 2. Oh,
Thimo
what
and Hugo
happened?
off!
Thimo and
Oh my goodness!
Thimo and Hugo.
That seemed to be like some kind of glitch where
Yes.
Hugo seemed to go into the wall and then he just appeared in front of Thimo, and Terry just
No.
oh my goodness! But that's such a horrible way, I think, for anyone to win a title whereby your two guys in front get taken out by a glitch. So, but as things stand now, that will be it. If Terra can hang on for another 10 laps, which I have no reason to think he won't, he will be the champion.
Yeah, it's not the way he's going to want to win it, but I mean, it's just the luck of the draw, isn't it? Sometimes you're on the receiving end of the brown stick. Oh, and Terra is slowing down. It looks like Terra has realized there has been a bug, so looks like he might be letting both Thimo and Hugo pass here. Yep, he does indeed.
Okay, so there's a safety car.
There's a safety car, so why are they overtaken in the?
Because it's a two-sided safety car. It's a special regulation.
All right, so yeah, that's what we thought, that Terra wouldn't want to win that like that with the bug. So fair play to him, letting them pass the game. That means we can keep with this action, because it was looking like it was game over there for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we all pretty much instantly agreed that it wasn't going to be a fun way to end it.
Yeah,
because it was no one's fault. So
it's unfortunate. We haven't seen those kind of errors before, though, Bance. Are they rare in Assetto Corsa?
I don't know. I guess Hugo's must have had some kind of stutter or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like that. We were on board with Terra at one point, and Terra went through the ground and then just reappeared on track as if nothing had happened. But that time, Hugo, it looked like he had the same issue where he just went through the ground, and then next thing, both cars were spinning out. So not good, but
yeah, that's what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Even as it stands, the way it is at the moment, with Thimo in P2 and Terra P3, I think Terra will still win the title. I think, because Thimo needs.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it was less about that anyway. It's just to make sure that the race is fun, because could have just finished it right after that glitch then, because
because I was saying on the stream there that Terra will not want to win, and no one wants to win a title like that, So, I mean, fair play, everyone switches back to the original positions and starts fighting again. This is what we want.
Yeah, I mean, also just to add, BMWs both do have quite a lot of damage now, obviously, from that, but that's just something they will deal with. But it might play crucially later on in the race.
Yeah.
Bance, while we have you on stream, what happened with you in the race? Was it just a case of just making a mistake and it just cost you, or lack of practice, or what was it?
I mean, yeah, it was just because I heard how many people we would have had today. And I haven't started the game in like a month and a half or something like that, but it was kind of like, I like the track a lot, so I just wanted to add a player number. So I don't know. I slipped out at this curb. I don't know if you saw it. But,
Yeah, we caught it on stream.
I did it in practice as well. I like the curbs in this game. I would just have to get used to again, and I didn't in time. So I was sad because I think it was going to be quite fun.
Yeah, it looked like you actually had a lot of pace, and you were looking very punchy. Saw you trying to, involved in quite a few moves at the start of the race there. So it's unfortunate you
Yeah, we all got rear-ended by someone. So me and Thimo both had damage at the start. But yeah, no. Anyway, we still have 3 guys within a second of each other, so it's far from over.
Yeah, it is indeed. We're lap 28 of 35, so 7-ish laps remaining. Terror is on the back of Thimo and Hugo, but as we heard there, the BMW boys are carrying a lot of damage, and that may well hurt them as we enter into the final phase of this race. Clara moving out of the way there for the guys. Good to see from him.
Just for the record though, like we have damage down quite a bit, so even heavy damage isn't a huge time cost. It doesn't cost you like 3 seconds a lap or anything, as you can tell, but it makes a bit of a difference. But yeah, not too much, maybe a few tenths. That should be it pretty much.
Tipsy was saying there that it looks like we're going to go for GTE for the next season of Assetto Corsa for TSRL.
Yeah, GT3, GTE, we'll have to see.
Yeah, so I know Tipsy's thrown his hat in the ring, and I'm considering it, so I'm gonna give it a few laps and see myself. You might see me on the track.
I mean, we will have some polls, but based on previous experiences when we first started the project, because because it's a difficult game to host for, we started prototyping how they would work half a year before we started the season, with different things and modded content, and just to see how it works. And we were doing GT3 practices half a year or so in advance already, and people were loving it. So I think if we did that now, that we should find a pretty good audience.
Tara got it really wrong on coming onto the exit of the final turn and hit the wall, and has lost a ton of, well, not a ton of time, but has lost that gap. It'll not have a really big play in terms of the final standings, because Clara P4 is lapped twice. All Tara has to do is finish in P3 really, and that's more or less it, game over for everyone else. But it goes to show you that even Tara is not susceptible for a few mistakes.
Yeah, I think we saw that in Canada. He was pushing it early on, and he was making a few mistakes here and there, and it cost him a lot of time. But he was able to eventually dial into the car, and he was just setting mega hot lap after mega hot lap. But we're riding on board with Thimo right now. He's fallen off. It looks like in Sector 2, like you were saying there, Tipsy, he does. Hugo seems to make up a good bit of time there. So that might be a setup.
It's also dirty air to a certain extent. You can't really follow that closely through there. You see, I tried as well and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't be too close.
So Tara's made up that time pretty almost that he lost. So that damage that them boys are running with must be having some kind of effect. I know Hugo seems to be running wide in the third last corner every time, and then Thimo was able to close up on him.
Yeah, I think Hugo is the slowest car at the moment, but he's slow in the parts where you can't really overtake, so it's basically a non-issue for him right now. It just has the effect that he slows everyone down, but he's not really in danger of being overtaken, which is a smart move from him, really.
Oh, Hugo runs wide. So does Thimo. They cut the corner. Terra's right on the back of Thimo. Looks, have a wee look. Doesn't happen. He's really putting. Oh, Terra loses it again. Oh, Terra's lost it. He got snapped in the rear end, and he's lost it again.
Vance, that's where you went off as well, yeah? I think that's where you died.
I think we lost Vance.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, I think that's where Vance met his demise there. So it is so easy just then to ride the curbs and take a bit too much and pay the price, as we saw there from Terror. So he's got to do again. He's got 4 laps to make up 3.3 seconds and overtake the BMW boys. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to get that glorious Terror Incognito dominant win and steal the championship. He is going to take the title, though, it looks like.
Unless, yeah. Quick Ted Kravitz and checked in there to see what his reaction was, and he said it was fine because he's in P3, which is safe for the championship, and he has everything to gain and nothing to lose, as the closest car behind him is 2 laps down. So yeah, he's just throwing his hat in there, or throwing things at the wall and see what sticks. Didn't work this time, but better than doing nothing.
Yeah, you can tell he's just, oh, Hugo's off, and Terra's up into P2.
So Hugo's off. Thimo is in the place that he wanted to. He wanted P1. He needed P1. The problem is, Terra is in P2. So I still don't think that's going to be enough. I think, what is it, Thimo's 35 points behind Terra in the championship. So yeah, Thimo needed to win, and Terra needed to come 4th. I think that, without knowing the exact figures, I'm pretty sure that P2, this P2 for Terra is enough, regardless of Thimo's potential victory.
Yep, so drama in the last few laps of the race. We've only got 2 and a bit laps left here. Terra is now in P2 position. Hugo, due to that incident, is now down to P3, and Thimo's sitting handily in the lead right now. 1.3 gap, 1.4 actually, down to Terra Incognito. So I don't think he's going to be able to catch him in that time, but we don't know. Like, as Vance was saying there, he's going to be throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this race right now. He's nothing to lose, really.
Yes, hello Ted here. He said, you told me his gap to Thimo and said, let's go. So this is not over. And he's told me that, I've told him I expect nothing less than daring dives on the last lap. That you sure won't be holding back, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, he's already 0.5 in under 2 sectors. I think he made up a whole second. So 0.5 is the gap. Thimo with a 120 flat, so he struggled a little bit on that last lap. 118.7 for Terror. The penultimate lap. Is Terror going to be able to take this victory in the dying moments of the race?
For sure, if he does, at least, like, considering what happened to him in the race, it's no question that he's the most deserving one to win the championship. Looking at how he always.
Sorry, Banz, I was just quickly checking there. So, with Terra coming P2 in this race, he will put him on 194 points. Okay, Thimo will be up to, I think, 166, which means that if Terra doesn't even show up tomorrow, or from the final race, and Thimo wins, it means that Terra will win. Still leads by 3 points. So there's nothing Thimo can do.
Oh, contact! Terra and Thimo are off. Oh, on the fast right-hander there. It looked like, I think Thimo.
Terra hit the back of it.
Yeah, I think Thimo. I don't think Terra anticipated the speed with which Thimo was going through that corner there. He made massive gains and wasn't able to avoid contact, so that's hurt both of them. I think we're seeing Terra maybe pulling over here to let Thimo through. Yeah, we are indeed. So there we go. Terra down to P3 after that. Fair play to him.
I'll go do my calculations again quickly.
I know it's changing
I'll recalculate that.
sector by
So,
sector.
so it's Ted back. Tara admits he made a huge mistake. He misjudged what Thimo would break and ran into him. So Hugos has inherited the lead.
This is crazy.
It's
Your last
15
lap.
points for P3, isn't it? 15? Pretty sure it's 15 points for P3.
Yes, it is.
I'll work it out and see if that changes anything. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Wait, yes, it does. Wait, does it?
Okay, so P3 will put Terra on 191 points.
Brad?
Don't leave us hanging, man.
And P2 will give Thimo 159 points. So I'll work out in terms of the final race.
Definitely not the winner we were expecting, though, I think.
No, I think is this the first victory in Assetto Corsa for Hugo?
It is.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
I've noticed he's just got stronger as the season progressed, and it's a long
It
time
is.
coming. This victory, I think.
Guys, this doesn't change anything. Sorry, but this doesn't change anything. In fact, this confirms it.
And Hugh, sorry, Tipsy, Hugh crosses the line in P1 then, and I think that's Clara going backwards across the track, yeah. So Timo's P2, doing some nice gymnastics there on track, and Terror in P3, so Terror does indeed take the World Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, I was just checking there that even as it stands now, if Thimo wins the next race and Tara doesn't even show up, Tara still wins. So that's it, game over, people. Sadly it doesn't run on to the final race, which would have been really great action for the final race, but or 2 races to go. Sorry, but it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. We knew Tara was going to clinch it eventually. Pretty action-packed last few 10 laps, anyway. But yes, Mr. Tara comes in P3. But he is the Season 1 Assetto Corsa RSS Hybrid Formula 1 World Champion.
Well played, that man. We know Terror is a phenomenal driver, and I think this series just is showing just that. But fair play to Timo. He stepped up to the mark, and he's kept Terror honest. He hasn't made it not. Sorry, I'm getting words mixed up, but he hasn't made it easy. Let's just say.
Yeah, Timo kept it interesting because he kept that battle going with Terra. But as like I said, it was only a matter of time before Terra got it, because those 5 wins he's had put him in a really commanding position that he didn't really need to win any race. Whereas Timo needed to win today, and Terra needed to come 4th or less. So even though it's a 2nd and a 3rd, running into even if there was only 1 race to go and a Timo won it, if Timo wins, the next race and Terra doesn't even show up, it doesn't make a difference. So Terra, he clinches the title. I think we're joined by Mr. Terra and Timo as it stands. Welcome, gentlemen. What a fantastic final race. And congratulations, Terra, on the title.
Yes, well played,
man. Oh, thank you. I'm upset with myself with that race. It was just like, it was a really good battle until 2 laps to go, when I'm still trying to work out what I was thinking. I decided not to brake when I was going to hit Thimo, and wiped him out and cost him the win, and I'm very upset with myself. But it was a fantastic race. Other than that, it was a really good battle between the 3 of us. But yeah, I'm deflated after that.
we had that bug. I don't know what happened from Hugo and Timo's point of view, but
it's a lag.
Yeah, Hugo lagged out, I'm pretty sure. And then when he reappeared, he was inside Timo's car and sent them both spinning. So that was really unfortunate.
Yeah, just one of those weird races where there's just weird stuff happening all over the show. But yeah, that incident you had with Timo, it looked like it was like a split second kind of thing, and I wouldn't beat yourself up too much about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the sort of thing that happens when you race close, and we were racing close for pretty much the whole race. But yeah, I mean, obviously, 100% my fault. Like nothing Timo did wrong at all. I just rear-ended him. But yeah, it does happen when you're racing like that. So, but yeah.
So Timo, how is your rear end?
I don't know. I didn't touch it. Tara did. That sounded very gay.
It's a
Sorry.
good point, actually. I should ask Tara.
I mean, was an interesting jump scare. I've got to say that. Yeah, I didn't see it coming at all because I mean I know I'm slow in that corner, and I always lost on Yugos in that corner. But yeah, I've got this thing, Heli Corsa, where you basically have got a shot from above the cars, yeah, and it tells you where cars are, and suddenly I saw Terra at the very edge of it all the time, and then that corner comes and suddenly Terra's car turns red in Heli Corsa and just rear-ends me. I was very surprised. I mean, it's a shame that it happened. I would have liked to win this race. I mean, my very realistic and my very realistic goal was to win the last two races to at least say, hey, I won races even though I lost the championship. But I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. The championship is won anyways, and it's a BMW one too, so I'm happy with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, fair play. Like we're talking to you guys first, but we should have a wee word with Hugo. I've no doubt that he's gonna come on and be like, "Yeah, I had a terrible race. I was so slow, blah 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 blah," and underplay it. But as we were talking before, you know this during the race there at the end, I was saying that Hugo has really came on as the season's progressed, and I think we're gonna see a lot more wins from him, going forward. Um, so yeah, I'd like to get Hugo if you're out
I
there.
just messaged him. Yeah.
Yeah, get yourself in
So
here.
hopefully he's around.
I'm turning on the light. Wait a second.
I just remember another race where he had a pretty epic drive. We got him into chat. We were like, "You got driver of the day. You had an amazing race. Blah 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 blah." And he was just like, "Oh, I did terribly. Blah blah blah." He just was so modest about it. It was like, "Oh, what?" But yeah, I mean, all three of you guys were just battling it out there. For most of the race, it was pretty good from our point of view. So we appreciate that. And Timo, yeah, you've nothing to be ashamed of. I was saying on stream as well, like obviously Terror's won the championship already, but you have not made it easy for him. You've been there every step of the way, and putting up a really good fight. So I hope to see more of that coming in the future races.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think in general, like the balance of power between the three of us is really interesting. We're all very closely matched. Hugo's is, I think, slightly less consistent than the two of us, but probably slightly faster. So it's kind of interesting to see.
And we've got Hugo in chat right now, so we do. So Hugo, you had an epic race there. You took the race win in the last laps of the race. What do you got to say for yourself?
I think I drove a pretty good race until the last three laps.
I think it was lap 32. 32, I'm pretty sure.
Where I spun, and I thought that would have lost me the race, but I kept on pushing because I knew Tarot would try and pressure Thimo, so I was hoping they would battle it out and collect each other in a way, and that's what happened. So I'm happy with my first win.
It's really hard to believe that's your first win, but yeah, I guess it is.
It's actually my first top 2 finish.
Wow.
Best so far was like third in, where was it? Hockenheim? No clue. Let me get the standings up on my, yeah, I mean, not on the stream obviously, but
well, they're actually on the stream at the minute, so I can tell
that's
you
pretty
that.
cool. Are they Are they up to? Yes, I updated them. I'm very proud.
Yeah.
Hugo's
had a few P3s, 3 P3s over the course of the season, a few P4s. So yeah, strong contender. And Bance obviously, like I mean, if you look at the standings, Bance was in the first 3 races, was 4th, 2nd, and 1st, and then unfortunately wasn't able to attend the last 5, 6 races. So I think he could have been a contender as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that he wasn't able to make those races. And in fact, if you look at the list, there's quite a number of drivers that haven't really attended the Assetto Corsa series, which is unfortunate. But thankfully, you guys have given us a lot. I always worry whenever I go into Assetto Corsa and you see there's like less than 10 drivers, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a hard race to call because it's going to be a lot of non-action. It's going to be just a lot of waffling and dead air and stuff. But like you guys have just battled from start to finish. I think the last race was one of my favorite. Where Tara and Timo were just going at it the whole race, and then you'll see I think it was the last race. Yeah, Canada, where Tara, you had that spin in the pit stop, which made it even more exciting from our point of view.
Yeah, I think if this season's defined by anything, it's by my pit stops.
Yeah, it would have been so cool to win this race because that would have made it 3 wins in the season, each of which happened when Tara did something bad in the pit lane. In Road America, he got the wrong pit box, in Canada and spun, and here he got the wrong pit box again.
I actually caught that on stream.
Very cool. it's very cool. Like it would have been great for the pattern to win this.
Yeah, this one caught me by surprise because it turns out that my pit box was like right after the pit lane speed limiter, but it doesn't show up until you cross that line. So like I didn't see my pit box until after I crossed the line, by which point it was much too late. So one day I'll learn to pit properly.
You definitely don't make it easy for yourself, Tara.
I mean, winning a title is I mean that's kind of easy, but getting to pit, dude.
I'm actually really happy with my pace today. My pace, I think, was very strong.
I think you were you were probably the quickest.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was also pushing very hard, which is why I made all those mistakes as well.
Yeah, so was I. I was pretty much all over the place in stages. My first stint, I'm very happy with my first stint, but I don't know if that was on stream. The undercut basically did not work because in the first pileup in the first corner I took damage and I had to repair my rear wing, and that cost me like 3 seconds. So the undercut on Yugos did not work. And he came out ahead of me, and that was basically nail in the coffin.
Yeah, we missed that lap 1 pileup. We did see the yellow flags, but we were sitting in the pits waiting for the leaderboard to come up so we jumped to the spectator mode.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that it doesn't work in F1 TV. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, the next race will be the final race in this current series of the Assetto Corsa for 2 SRL, and we've got Brazil coming up. So how do you guys feel about Brazil? Have you tried the track yet? You feel you got pace? Feeling confident about the win?
I haven't tried the track yet. I would be very happy to end the season on a high. It's a very fun track. I've got to say that. But I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at. But on the other hand, I wouldn't say the same about Hungaroring, and I was there.
I generally like the track. I seem to do quite well there. I don't know why. I think my first F1 2 SRL win was there. It's generally a track I like quite a lot. But I mean, yeah, it'll just be fun. I mean, we've had 3 or 4 races in a row that have just been absolute bangers, and so hopefully we get another one in Brazil. If it's as much fun as these last 2 or 3 have been, I'll be happy.
Also, another thing that might be like somewhat interesting. Oh no, it will not be interesting. Never mind me.
Have you guys got the constructors?
No, you guys got the constructors.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, you won. Oh wait, never mind. I'm actually very dumb. Just gave you the 43 points, and it's 27 for you. So the gap was 28 points. Like if I had the 25 points from Road America, God damn it!
Oh, well, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Yeah, well,
Clora put in a shift today, by the way. Shout out to Clora. Good result from him.
yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
I was just going to ask Hugo, how do you feel about Brazil? You reckon you're going to put up a good fight there?
Based off of the Formula One game, I think it's one of my strongest tracks. So I'm hoping for a good result.
I don't like that at all.
So yeah, I think we'll do double or nothing. Yeah, like double points for the final round. What do you reckon, guys?
Yes, we are. That was actually called like 3 years ago, so we're going to do that.
Okay.
Obviously.
Winner takes it all. Let's do this.
But then you guys can win. I don't want that. Can we please not?
I think what is the gap? It was 35, so it's now
32.
32. So I think, yeah, I'd still only need to come like 5th. So yeah, that's we could do
Possible.
that, but I guess it's possible. But yeah, it would be kind of cheesy as well.
Well, you guys are 63 points behind me in the standing, so actually I'm okay with this. I mean, we're obviously not doing it, but it would be fun. Yeah. Also, for next season, we're pretty confident that it's going to be a GT3 championship. It
should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and maybe you get a new Mercedes lineup there.
Yeah, Tipsy mentioned he chatted a wee bit about that changeover for the next season. I even said I would consider joining, maybe taking a seat myself. So I know, fear me, the OceanChief is coming.
That'd be sweet. Well, I mean, hopefully we get some people. I mean, there's been a lot of interest, so it should be a lot of fun. Those cars are really cool. It'll be something a little bit different. I'd like to drive that sort of car a little bit more in sims. Sort of done the open wheel thing to death, and the LMP ones are quite similar to F1 cars in like the way they handle and stuff. So it'd be good to do a proper tin top. Yeah,
I'm gonna start saving up all my money now so I can just set up a direct debit with you, Terror, for those setups.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to set up those cars. We'll see.
You will. You have to.
Oh yeah.
For the constructors.
Okay.
Yeah, Timo and I are going to be teammates, we think. So
that'll be great. That'd be good to see.
Try harding a lot.
Okay, well, I've got my dogs in the background. They're starting to go to war with each other, so I think that's probably the optimal time to end the stream. Has anyone else got anything they want to add? Tipsy, you've been very quiet.
I'm just talking rubbish on the Discord.
That's all right.
You carry on.
The usual then. Oh yeah,
it's worth the usual. Hang on, man. The rest of your cheek, you have to forget. Don't forget that I schooled you today on the karting track. All right.
Yeah, we should end the stream right now before you start. With this
anyone that
fake
is watching, I beat Chief again on the karting track.
Honestly, we should just do the next season in Assetto Corsa sim racing karts. That would be pretty sweet.
Hey.
I might have a chance then. Yeah, I'm not too bad at the karts.
We should actually do a karting event once.
Yeah, I think
would enjoy that.
That would be epic. I mean, if we get like some SLR guys to SRL, because I think like we were chatting about it in the Discord, and it seemed like people were really interested in it. So if we could figure that out, that would be pretty epic. Get a bunch of us together.
No, I don't think that's happening, IRL. I'm not flying to your weird island for that. I could swim. I won't swim.
No, I think if we get somewhere central, and then maybe we can see what kind of numbers we can get. It's potentially something we could do in the future. I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting. I know that I would have a chance then, because I am actually decent at karting. So
I will strap myself onto some good train in the Eurotunnel and just and then someone has to pick me up in where is it? Dover? I don't know.
The
Well,
Eurotunnel doesn't
We'll
come
figure it out.
into Dover. The Eurotunnel is at Folkestone, which is a few miles
Okay.
before.
I only know Dover and Calais, and that's it.
Or you can just take the Eurostar, which goes straight into London, so
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I'll
To
run
be
with
honest,
that.
Timo, you're far better just avoiding England. Well, you want to get get across before October anyway.
okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I might
If you're
not.
on that, you can just do what I do: go to Roscoff in the northwest of France and get the ferry all the way to Cork.
What,
Do you know
what,
that's an old
what
joke?
is a what is
What?
a cork?
Cork is a city in Ireland.
Oh,
You
okay.
gotta educate yourself, man.
City is
Excuse me.
city is
You know that's
pushing
why.
it.
You know that's why Ireland will never sink because there's a cork in it. But
It's an assembly of
I'm about to head off.
dirt huts.
You've just
I'm
sickened
sure-
Hugo
well
with
done,
that
you
joke.
guys.
He's had enough of your jokes. He couldn't take it anymore. Right, Hugo.
Yeah,
see
he's so. I mean, Yugos always gets upset when we start making jokes about Ireland. He's very attached to Ireland.
I mean, like I like telling dad jokes, but he never laughs.
Jesus, how expensive is that? Ferry road? What the hell?
Which
I mean,
one?
yeah, to Cork. It's very. Yeah, the dimensions are interesting. I had no clue.
What do you mean the dimensions? We measure distance in
distance.
miles and kilometers, not not dimensions. You Germans do everything on a map with your wee ruler.
I mean, it's
Now,
less.
will our guns reach that far?
It's less than a light year. I can tell you that much. Don't know more. It's less than a parsec.
Whenever I'm driving in France, the Germans are all over the place, and I mean, you guys, you need to have a bit of manners on the road.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a driver's license. I don't want to piss anyone off.
Yeah, I think we're about done here. I think we've pissed off a lot of people
Yes.
from many different countries. So sorry about that, everyone. We're just having a laugh, you know. But anyway, yeah, I'll end the stream here unless anyone else has got anything else to add.
No,
Silence.
not really. Any final thoughts, Tara?
No final thoughts.
That's very uncreative, don't you think so? I'm giving my best.
Are we not getting a final send off from our champion?
Oh yeah, well, one thing I should say is a big thank you to you guys, Ocean and
Oh yes.
Tipsy, for just some stellar coverage of this Assetto Corsa league. Despite the low numbers, it's been really fantastic to see and to watch the races back and to have that. So yeah, thank you both.
Yeah, you're like literally 25% of the people in the lobby, so you have a very great part in this.
Keep it going there. Keep the stream going there, Chief. We get a few more compliments coming out. Keep it going there, boys.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Keep going, Tara. Yeah.
It's a very lame speech. I expected you to call yourself blessed.
I mean, I think if anyone should do any thanking, really, it should be Chief, because he gets to share my company.
That's true. That's true.
This is true. Yeah. The dreamy tones of TipsyBob.
It's just, I tell you, it's just a shame that Mr. Chief couldn't keep up with me on the karting track.
Yeah, about that fake news.
It's not fake news. I will upload the picture. All right.
There's
okay,
a big difference.
I'm gonna end the stream after I say this, but we did 3 20-minute sessions.
Ocean can't respond.
Yeah, or no, Tipsy. I came fastest in 2 sessions. He came fastest in the first session.
My fastest time was the fastest overall.
Still 2-1, 2-1. It was
no.
changing track conditions. You know, it got drier. So
it was based on who can set the fastest time of the day, and that was me.
Well, I'm just gonna leave it on. I came fastest in 2 sessions, and you came fastest in 1 session
overall.
Bye, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.